Ciao, hi, hey, hola guys, it's your boy M.K.S here, back here with another video. I'm finally back here with another video. I'm just going to check I'm live on Facebook as well. Which I am, it didn't take too long. Anyway, as I say, it's your boy M.K.S here, back here with another video, and today I want to talk about a big game, Italy versus Northern Ireland, which I'm going to try and get onto it. But recently I've not really been motivated to do anything really. I've just been struggling to get out of bed, stop watching YouTube, and I know I go through that quite a few times. But I feel quite guilty about not taking action on all these ideas I've got. And I really want it to be like March to Victory, and all these plans. I want it to be proactive and motivated on it. I guess I can't really go back in time, but hopefully it's a new start today, or I'll try and start again tomorrow. But yeah, I've been just going through an existential crisis, if that's the right word, nihilism or whatever. I think that means the same thing, basically lacking a purpose or just feeling really negative about life, if I'm honest with you. And I do try and be as honest as possible. I really feel guilty when I feel like that, partly because I really want to be like a light and positive to the world and that kind of thing, spread joy and that kind of thing, but I do struggle with it. So yeah, I really was hoping for March to be a positive one, and also to be a positive month, and also because I think of like March to Victory, March to the very victory, as I put it. But so far it's been March to loss, or March to the loss, or March to the very defeat, or whatever. March to the loss, or whatever. But anyway, hopefully it will all change today. But I'll hopefully be more motivated tomorrow to get up, put the rest of me out of bed. And I suppose if I didn't explain it, people probably wouldn't notice, or they'd just think I took a break from recording. But yeah, I do try and be as honest as possible. But because I don't want the video to be too long, I hope to God willing, Godspeed. I hope to God I can get back to positivity, all being well. Like sometimes I think like, the guy upstairs, like God is not on my side, but hopefully God will prove me wrong. I guess he or she, not necessarily through football, but through like helping my plans generally. I may hope. But anyway, I'm going to try not to be too negative. But yeah, here goes. These are. I thought I'd do it in list form rather than like pre-match or whatever. I don't think I'm going to get to watch the game. I don't know if I dare to watch the game either. But anyway, here are 10 points. Overall, I hope to do it as usual on 40 points overall, because I hope to put 1, 2, 3, and 4. But here are 10 points on Italy's game against Northern Ireland. I guess I was thinking this could be nothing, but I'm willing to give it a go. But I thought I'd discuss like how I would probably approach the game or whatever. So here goes. So number one, it could be, think about the game generally, it could be a really embarrassing night. It could be the most embarrassing night for Italy, because failing to qualify for a third time in a row would be really, use the word catastrophic, maybe that's a bit extreme for football, but it would be probably catastrophic for my mental health, but it would be something which is probably pretty much unheard of for a supposedly football loving nation, like one of the top footballing nations supposedly, and show a real decline. I think it would require a lot of change. I thought I'd get the worst out of the way, the negatives out of the way, as I normally try and do, but I think there should be a lot of change if he doesn't qualify this time, which I hope to cover in point number 11, because I think of like change in point number 11. But I'm going to move on to point number 2, which is I hope Italy will learn a lot, and I hope Gattuso can use his experience, the Italian manager, Gennaro Gattuso, can use his experience in football at his time. I know he played for Rangers, then the enemy. Ironically, I think he was going to be manager for Rangers, so he would have been managing my least favourite sports team, and now he's managing my most favourite sports team. An interesting one, I guess. But I hope that Italy will watch videos if it's not too late. I hope they've been watching videos. I hope they'll watch as many videos as possible and that kind of thing, and all that jazz until the end, until they play each other. And yeah, I hope they have been watching those videos and that kind of thing. And I hope they'll learn about Northern Ireland's weaknesses, and also, as I put it, weaknesses, strengths, threats, and opportunities. So what are some weaknesses to exploit, but also what are some strengths to avoid. Like for instance, I don't know if they've got a tall player they can cross it to try and stop the cross going into the box in the first place. If they're quite tall but they're not so good on the floor, try and keep it on the floor, or vice versa. They've got quite a lot of short players, try and exploit that, and also exploit like the defenders or things like that. Any weaknesses they might have, Italy to try and exploit those. Maybe try and play some like tiki-taka football, as they call it, like apparently how Spain used to play or whatever else it probably plays, and maybe look at like what has worked for the winning teams and how to become a winning team again. I'd love for the former players to even come in and talk to the boys in blue, talk to the boys in the current players. I mean, to talk about like what they can do to improve or things like that, or what makes a winning team. Hopefully, Gattuso would have learned from his time winning the World Cup in 2006. So I hope if they can turn it around, have a miracle, and go on and win again. Finally, 20 years later, I hope that I hope they'll learn as much as possible, and like as I say, any weaknesses to exploit those. So if they've got a weak right back, try and target a weak right back, or same with the left back, centre backs. If they're weak in the air, try and attack them in the air, or if they're weak on the ground, try and keep the ball on the ground. If they're too tall, play obviously to their weaknesses and hopefully to our own strengths, and again hopefully play tiki-taka football, but also whilst keeping the ball and having possession, one being more clinical and two defending when absolutely necessary. I know Italian football normally plays counter-attacking, but I don't see Italy learning from other teams and having that balance and being more attacking in many ways. Also I'd say strengths to avoid, again if they have got a good striker, trying to avoid the opposition getting the ball to that striker or whatever. Maybe seeing some of the games where they've lost, like where were they weaker in those games, and that kind of thing. And yeah, I suppose their strengths would be the same as would be Italy's threats, I guess, and vice versa. And also their weaknesses would be Italy's opportunities. I did a SWOT analysis there, I guess, but in a way, well, I talked about SWOT analysis, I guess, not specifically going through what their specific weaknesses would be, but I hope that maybe Italy can Google it, people involved in TAFL, and check any videos most importantly, and look at any technical analysis and learn about the opposition, obviously, and also, as I say, play to their weaknesses or play against their weaknesses and try and avoid what they're strong at and the threats, obviously. Again, if they've got a good striker who headers the ball quite a lot, try and stop the ball from getting into him and that kind of thing. But again, I hope Gennaro Gattuso will have learned a lot from Marcello Lippi and other managers, and from his time in football and that kind of thing. Maybe even copying and imitating other teams, trial and error and things like that as well, trying different things out. And moving on to number 3, on that note, as I say, trying different things out and giving the freedom for their strikers to go forward. I think defenders should give the freedom. I'm giving away quite a lot of my strategies, as I often say, but I think they should give the freedom for the strikers to go forward while the defenders stay back. And I suppose having the freedom to make mistakes, but playing together as a team. Teamwork makes the dream work. We are #stronger together. It's about a bit as in point number 1 or point number 2, but coulda, shoulda, woulda, as I say. But exploiting any weaknesses that they have. What was the point I was going to say? Sorry. But yeah, allow if you make a mistake, covering for each other. So as I say, we are stronger together. #stronger together. Teamwork makes the dream work. Try and keep possession, but also trying to create opportunities to score goals, of course, and hopefully being clinical enough to score those goals, all being well. I don't know if I believe in luck, but hopefully, if there is such a thing, we'll get that luck or those blessings or whatever. So let's say, I don't know, if the ball was going wide, hopefully it would go in for us, and if the ball was going in for them, it'll hit the bar instead, or post or whatever, and that kind of thing. I used to often think that, like, if you hit the post, if I was playing football, the team I support was playing football, and they hit the post, I think, oh, maybe this is not going to be our night. But I suppose if we keep going, that happened in Germany, where Italy hit the post and the bar and still managed to go on to win that game. So I suppose it can be done. And maybe preparing for eventualities like penalties or whatever, but trying different things, especially, as I say, strikers and wingers, and at least one of them, centre mids, like, depending on what formation we play. I haven't really checked the formation or whatever, but being prepared to run forward and giving them opportunities to make mistakes, again, trial and error and that kind of thing. So yeah, hopefully we'll have the freedom to make mistakes, try different things and make mistakes and whatnot. Number 4, I hope we'll keep the possession more, but at the same time, again, being clinical, not just like keeping possession, because you can keep possession and still lose again. People say possession is 9/10 of the law or whatever, but I think being able to score, just put your chances away. No, we all wish to, but honestly, it's no. Obviously, scoring more goals than the opposition. I know it's very simple, but I know it's simple to say, easy to say. Sorry, I know it's very basic, obvious, or whatever. But yeah, I hope we can keep the ball a lot, but also be more clinical and, as I say, put in 100% effort, work together as a team. Teamwork makes the dream work, and I suppose work with passion for something they believe in, whether that's the nation itself, the flag, the anthem, the flag, their family, themselves, and really play for pride. Normally, I would talk about like how I dream for. Again, I wish I did better in March. To be honest with you, I know still got a bit of the month left, but there's so many days where I just couldn't motivate myself to do anything. But I think maybe I should have given it a go, but a bit better. But it is what it is. I guess I can't go back in time, so I'm just going to try and stop dwelling on the past. Try and think about doing the best I can, I guess, and try not to give up again. But I guess a lot of time is because I think God's not on my side, so I give up if I'm honest. But if I felt God was on my side, I probably wouldn't give up. But I guess all you can do is do your best and hope for the best as well. That's what I do. But sometimes, because like with my hoarding, if I don't get to, as a bit of a side note, if I don't, I think what's the point of doing something or having something if you don't get to keep it, or it just goes to waste anyway, or whatever. To be honest with you, I'm trying to explain myself as best I can. But going back to football, but as I say, I'm trying to think of the game itself, but also for Italy's future in football, and hopefully making changes and improving constantly. I know technically I have talked about it as well, but how I love for a discouragement of investing into wars, the weapons trade, and things like that, and having peace through football. And as a family town, I'm Celtic, and I've said it before, but I dream that the money will go into that, so building more football pitches in Italy and that kind of thing. So discouraging as an investment into wars and weapons trade and that kind of thing, the military industrial complex and all that kind of stuff, and investing in town for one instead, and hopefully Italy having peace through football, as I say, and avoiding wars through football and that kind of thing, building bridges and working with FIFA and UEFA to do that kind of thing, and also cutting out corruption and doing football for good and that kind of thing. Moving on, number 5, I hope that all possible Italians, again, something I probably mentioned before, and I know I talked about on Italy's Unification Day, so it'd be really disappointing if we failed, especially in this month, when it's Italy's Unification Day. I wish I did more to talk about the town football and other things, but as I say, it is what it is. But I hope that all possible people in Italy and the diaspora, and all those connected to town football, come together and get behind the team. Again, I know I mentioned that before. But moving on to number 6, hopefully they'll work as hard as necessary and work together as a team and put the effort in to bringing back the pride to themselves and play for their pride. Again, there's a point I keep thinking of, but I'm going to try and include it in point number 11, as I say. Yeah, I hope they'll bring back the pride and work towards doing that. And there's something else I was going to say, and I've completely forgotten it. But yeah, I love for Italy to unite together on Italy's Unification Day. I think there were a few things I forgot to say, like how, for instance, about how I love for, I suppose, the flag to an extent, but especially like Italy's Unification Day itself, and also the anthem and the words in the anthem about being united and avoiding division. I'd love for that too. I may have mentioned that, I can't quite remember, but I'd love for those two things, especially more so than the flag itself, although the flag could be part of it. But Italy's Unification Day itself, it could be called Italy's Unity Day, I suppose, and also the words on the flag, on the anthem, about uniting. So I'd love for Italian teams to unite together. But I'm sure there's another point I was going to mention, but I've completely forgotten it. Yeah, I hope they can share the team on and that kind of thing. And it's really frustrating. I'm sure there was a point I was going to mention, but I've completely forgotten. Uh, yeah, hopefully want it more than Northern Ireland and exploit their weaknesses and that kind of thing. As I say, on paper, Italy should be able to beat Northern Ireland, but over recent years, it's not been so great, and I don't think we should. I don't think we should give them too much respect, as I say. But like any team, I guess we should just respect them enough, not take them too lightly, but at the same time go out and obviously there's some teams like Brazil, Argentina, France, Spain, and teams like that, which you, Germany, and those kind of teams, which you would take more fearfully and with respect. But I suppose if we underestimate them, we underestimate them at our own peril. And I guess not wanting to be embarrassed by losing three in a row, like failing to qualify for the World Cup 3 times in a row, and losing it against a team which is probably ranked quite a lot lower than us. But I'm going to move on because I know I was going to say something. Point number 6, but I completely forgot. Number 7. One of the things I was thinking about is that it's the 26th today, which reminds me of like reparations. To be fair, Italy and Northern Ireland are both colonial powers, I guess. I mean, the Republic of Ireland was colonised, but a lot of the people who supported that colonisation are in Northern Ireland. In fact, they have a lot of animosity towards the Republic. But yeah, I was trying to think of a theme of reparations, but I guess both Italy and Northern Ireland are involved in like colonialism, colonisation historically. Although I guess that even if Italy was playing Ireland itself, I'd still want them to win. One thing I was thinking about is like many hands make light work, as they say, many minds make light work, many feet make light work in this case, maybe, and that kind of thing. So I think that I'd love them to work as hard as necessary, but as smart as possible, and work together as a team. Again, exploiting weaknesses, not just keeping the ball, but trying to do something with it, trying to score goals, working together as a team, covering for each other, and helping each other to passing and keeping the ball. I suppose part of that is to stop you from having to run so much. Hopefully, you can conserve energy and that kind of thing. So yeah, I think that was point number 7. But yeah, even if Italy was playing Ireland, I would still want Italy to win from a biased point of view, but especially against Northern Ireland. And not a big fan of Catholicism, I normally say, but there's a lot of animosity towards Catholics in Northern Ireland. So yeah, hopefully the time players will think about like psychologically. Imagine the opposition wants to take food off your table or whatever. So go out and win that game. Hopefully defending as strong as possible, but also attacking, keeping the ball, but being clinical and that kind of thing. Not really giving the opposition a sniff of the ball or a sniff of opportunities to score, most importantly. Hopefully. But hopefully, obviously, creating opportunities for ourselves. Number 8, as I say, thinking about like the animosity towards Catholics. As I say, I'm not Catholic myself, but they could use that to say psychologically, thinking about like the opposition hating Catholics or whatever. I know that's not true of everyone in Northern Ireland, but if it spurs them on to push themselves and think about like that sort of thing, then hopefully it'll push them. And as I say, I hope at times we'll have the passion. Town players will have the passion. I'd love to bring, again, talking about more generally, I'd love to bring the love and passion for football back to Italy, to Italian football, and to improve it and make it great again and that kind of thing. But also, hopefully this will be a start of that. But also, hopefully today will be a start of that. But overcoming adversity, but playing for what they believe in. So whether that's the nation, the anthem, the flag, unity, Unification Day, peace and love, their family, their own pride, or whatever it might be. So for this game, hopefully, and other games in the future, hopefully they'll have that passion and play for that passion. But I'd love to, as they bring passion back to Italian football, so Italians to fall in love with football and playing football and that kind of thing, obviously, and with their local team and their national team and that kind of thing. And again, those from the diaspora, which I hope to come to. Number 9, I was thinking before the game, this might be a bit, I guess, again, this could be nothing, but I'm going to give it a go. But I did try and type up from Google Translate to type up my strategies. I know I do have my problems with punctuation, and I like to express myself through spoken word, even though I struggle with it. although I'm sure not as much as my paperwork and that kind of, or my writing basically. But before the game, I think that, so I'll try and get to the point. Before the game, I think it'd be interesting if they used like hand signals and codes and things like body language, so they know what their teammates are going to do. But hopefully their opposition, most importantly, won't know what they're going to do. So yeah, hopefully their teammates will know, but their opposition won't know what they're going to do. So if they tap their left shoulder, it means they're going to go long, or if they tap the right shoulder, they're going to go short, or whatever they discussed before the game, and they could change it each game. But obviously, you want your teammate to know, I'm sure, but not, or teammates even, but not the opposition. But yeah, maybe taking a few risks, trying a few different skills and things like that. And number 10, one thing I think of is like, again, I want to talk about time for more generally, but thinking about today's game, and I suddenly remember something I was going to mention, but I forgot, but I'll probably mention it in part 2, 3, and triple 4. But for today's game, or generally as well, but I was thinking like towards the last 5 or 10 minutes of the game, which kicks off in just over 2 hours. Before the game, I think, before half time, just before half time, when it's like 5 minutes left, maybe 10 at a push, maybe that's 6 or 7 minutes, 5 minutes or whatever, 10 at a push, as I say, there could be a signal to say you've only got 10 minutes left to play, so run till you get a break, so to run, so they could conserve energy, like keeping the ball. I suppose that's what Spain did well in the past and probably still does now, like as some people label it tiki-taka football, so they keep hold of the ball. Apparently that makes the opposition tired and yourself less tired. But yeah, at the beginning of the game they could start off a bit slower and try and build up, just defend as much as necessary and whatnot, even let the opposition have the ball a little bit, but let them run and get tired hopefully, and then towards the last 5 or 10 minutes of the half try and push to score a late goal in the first half, and then the same for the second half. And on that note, I'm out. Peace and love.